Thanks to Hollywood, both in reality and in film, the rumble of an active quake is a familiar sound. But if an emergency like this became a real scenario on Vancouver Island, how would we handle it? The Regional District of Nanaimo is taking steps to prepare our communities for a potential disaster situation.
Most people on the West Coast don't understand that we live in an active earthquake zone, a high hazard earthquake zone. And we just don't get the reminders that you do maybe down in California where things are shaking and moving every once in a while. Highly trained actors are going for Academy Awards today.
Here at Tamagawa University in Cedar, this is just a simulation. And the responders are simply citizens that want to be more emergency prepared. The actors here are volunteers too. They're creating a very traumatic scenario.
Listen, they need something for his blood. His arm is off. Yes. He doesn't even have an arm.
It's actually surprising. You know that it's not real, but the adrenaline starts to pump when you hear the sound of the earthquake. You drop cover and hold on. You hear sounds, there's fire, there's smoke, there's victims who are crying out.
Somebody please! Help!
We try our best with the moulage, which is the application of simulated injuries, and the pyrotechnics and the fire extinguisher practice, to get people to think a little bit different, because very often it's the tabletop exercises that you're working on, or just book work.
Although the emergency disaster response training here did start with classroom learning, it's the hands-on, simulated experience that really puts the potential emergency into perspective.
Somebody's got to help me!
We'll find her for you, John. We'll find her for you.
If you're not prepared, and I don't feel like I'm 100% prepared either, but you know, if that happened, I'd be like, oh my God, what do I do? You know, and you just your paranoia just sets in, and all you can do is just really, you know, help yourself, wait for help, and, you know, just pray for the best.
Ah, help me! My arm's stuck!
Maybe you're trapped after an earthquake. It's a good idea to let people know you're there.
Help me! Please, somebody!
I always imagine if you were in a disaster that you would be shipped out of there pretty quick, but I think it'd be a lot of confusion.
You can't leave him alone! He's dying, please!
It'd be really scary just to be left in there not knowing when you're going to get helped, if you're going to get helped, and how your friends, family, or whoever else is in there with you is doing.
In this simulation, volunteer coordinators, rescuers, and first aid providers managed to evacuate survivors within an hour. Of course, in a real scenario, the trauma of being a victim or a responder will be extremely heightened.
Okay, we're going to get you out of here.
We're a very progressive municipality with an emergency coordinator and lots of activities going on, including things like this that help the community members understand better what they can do come the disaster.
If you're going to be sending people into that situation, they need to know what they're doing, obviously, and you don't want anyone getting hurt either.
80% of the rescue that ever gets done in an emergency situation is done by convergent volunteers. Those are people who are untrained and don't have any background in emergency response. It's not by our professional folks. They'll manage to get only maybe 20% of it done, and that may be well after the fact, 48 to 72 hours after the fact.
To get involved with upcoming Regional District of Nanaimo emergency response programs, email beready@rdn.bc.ca or give the RDN a call.
The shock of finding people who are seriously injured, if you haven't had some practice in that, or if that's not your professional activity, it can be quite a surprise. So this gives them the opportunity to learn to react a little more normally under the circumstances.
1, 2, 3, lift.
In Cedar, I'm Todd Jones.